My fiancée texted her friends about one last hookup before our wedding. She sent it to her parents by mistake. We'd been together for nearly 4 years, met during our final semester at the University of Michigan, moved to Chicago after graduation, and built a life that felt pretty stable. Madison was working in marketing for a retail brand, and I was doing freelance graphic design. We shared an apartment in Lakeview, a little too small for 2 people and a dog, but it was ours. Life wasn't perfect, but it felt good. We'd been planning the wedding for about a year. Her parents were covering most of it, very traditional Midwestern folks, polite but distant. I got the sense they didn't fully approve of me, but they never said it outright. Madison brushed it off any time I brought it up. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I was sitting at my desk, half working, half scrolling through Reddit when my phone rang. It was Madison's mom, Carol. I found that strange because she never called me directly. Usually, anything related to wedding planning went through Madison. Thinking something had happened to Madison, I picked up immediately. "Hey, Carol. Everything okay?" There was a long pause on the other end. Then I heard a sharp inhale, followed by, "Michael, have you spoken to Madison today?" I sat up straighter. "No, not yet." "What?" Carol sighed. "I think you need to see the message she just sent." She meant it for her friends, but it came to the family group chat by mistake. Now I was fully alert. "What kind of message?" "I don't want to be the one to explain it." "Check your messages. Then maybe we can talk." She hung up. I opened my phone and scrolled through the messages. Madison wasn't in the family group chat with her parents. But I was, along with her brother and sister. She must have somehow confused the group. There it was, about 5 minutes old. "LOL, can't believe this wedding is still happening. 2 more weeks, and I'm out. This bachelorette trip is going to be wild. I deserve one last ride before I say I do to boring old Mike." My heart stopped. I read it again, and again. The words burned into my brain. Out. What did that mean? One last ride. What the hell was that supposed to mean? I stared at the screen, hoping it was some kind of joke. A prank. Anything. But then another message came in. This time a frantic follow-up from Madison. "OMG, delete that, delete that, delete that. Not for you guys, OMG, I'm so sorry." No explanation. No context. Just panic. Almost instantly, I got another call, this time from her dad. I didn't pick up. My hands were shaking. My stomach twisted into knots. I felt like someone had punched me in the chest and knocked the wind out of me. The woman I was about to marry, the one I'd trusted with everything, was talking about our wedding like it was some kind of joke. Like I was some kind of joke. I didn't know what to do. I felt humiliated, furious, and confused all at once. Just then, Madison texted me directly. "Babe, please don't freak out. It was just a dumb joke between me and the girls. I didn't mean it like that. I'll explain everything tonight. Just please don't make this a big thing." That text felt even worse than the first. I didn't reply. Instead, I packed a bag. I didn't know where I was going yet, but I knew I wasn't going to be waiting around in that apartment when she came home. I didn't go far. Just checked into a Holiday Inn a few blocks from our place. I couldn't bring myself to talk to anyone. Not Madison. Not her parents. Not even my best friend Chris. I turned my phone on silent, laid on the stiff bed, and stared at the ceiling. That night was the longest of my life. I kept replaying the message in my head. I deserve one last ride before I say I do to boring old Mike. That wasn't just a joke. That was real. That was how she really saw me. I wasn't her partner. I was the boring guy she settled for. A placeholder. At around midnight, I finally turned my phone back on. I had 12 missed calls, half a dozen voicemails, and a flood of texts from Madison. Her parents had also messaged again, along with her younger sister, Kate. Kate's message stood out. "Hey Mike. What's going on, but whatever Madison sent, you didn't deserve that. You've always been too good to her. Just take care of yourself right now. It was weirdly comforting. Like someone else saw what I saw, even if I didn't fully understand it yet. The next morning, I drove out to the lakefront, parked, and watched the sunrise over Lake Michigan. My phone buzzed again. Madison. I picked up this time. Mike. She blurted out, frantic. Please. I've been losing my mind. Where are you? Why aren't you home? I'm not coming home, I said flatly. Not until we talk. Really talk. No deflecting. No, it was just a joke crap. I want the truth. There was a long pause. Okay, she whispered. Can we meet somewhere? Please. We ended up at a coffee shop in Lincoln Park. She looked like she hadn't slept. Makeup smeared under her eyes. Hair pulled back sloppily. She'd obviously been crying. I sat down across from her, arms crossed. I didn't even order a drink. Start talking, I said. She swallowed hard. It was stupid. Just something I said because the girls were hyping up the bachelorette weekend. You know how they are. They were talking about Miami, strippers, hooking up. Were you going to cheat on me? Her eyes widened. No. No, God, no. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't planning anything. It was just words. Pressure. Like, this feeling that I'm about to get married, and it's the last chance to be wild. I stared at her. So you were thinking about it. She looked down at her coffee. I don't know what I was thinking. I was drunk when I sent that text. You called me boring, I said quietly. Her head snapped up. Mike, no. I didn't mean it. You're not boring. You're stable. You're kind. You're safe. I finished for her. I'm this safe guy. She didn't deny it. That silence told me more than any words ever could. You know what's messed up? I said, shaking my head. I was nervous about this wedding too. Not because I didn't want to marry you, but because I didn't think you really wanted to marry me. Madison's eyes welled up. I do want to marry you. No, I said. You want the wedding. You want the party. The white dress. The honeymoon in Bali. But I don't think you ever wanted me. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Your parents called me. I continued. They were devastated. And you had the nerve to tell me not to make this a big thing? You embarrassed me, Maddie. You showed your entire family how little I actually mean to you. She started crying. But I didn't feel bad for her. I was done being the guy who always forgave, always moved on. I'm calling it off. I said finally. The wedding. Us. She gasped, like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. You're serious? I stood up. Dead serious. I left her there crying in that coffee shop. The engagement ring still sitting in the small box I'd brought just in case. The next part came later that evening. That's when her parents called me. Again. That evening, I was packing up the last of my things from our apartment. Madison wasn't there. Her sister Kate had picked her up earlier after I told her I needed space to clear out. I didn't even take much. Just the stuff I came with, my dog Cooper, and a few keepsakes I didn't want to leave behind. I was nearly done when my phone rang again. This time, I recognized the number. Madison's dad. I hesitated. Thumb hovering over the decline button. But something told me to pick up. Hello. I answered stiffly. Mike, said Richard, Madison's father. His voice was calm, but heavy. Do you have a few minutes? I guess, I said. I braced myself for what I assumed would be an attempt to convince me to still go through with the wedding. I just want to say, I'm sorry, he said plainly. That caught me off guard. For what? For the way this all went down. For not speaking up earlier. Carol and I both had doubts, and we should have trusted our instincts. We always saw you as the responsible one. The adult in the relationship. I sat down on the armrest of the couch, confused. What are you saying? He sighed. Madison's always been impulsive. Since she was young. We thought she'd grown out of it. But the moment we read that text. Hell, the moment you read that text, we knew. This wedding wasn't about building a life with someone she loved. It was about the show. I didn't say anything. We called off the catering, the venue deposit, everything, he continued. We told her the wedding isn't happening. Not just because of the text, but because she needs to grow the hell up. And I told her if she ever wanted us to support her again, financially or emotionally, she'd better learn to take responsibility for how she treats people. I was speechless. These were words I never expected from Madison's parents. I thought they only tolerated me. But here they were, siding with me. Not because I was perfect, but because their daughter had messed up, badly. Carol got on the phone next. Her voice was softer, but just as serious. Michael, you didn't deserve this. You were good to her. We saw that. And for what it's worth, we're grateful you had the strength to walk away. I thanked them and hung up shortly after. As I finished loading my car, Kate showed up unexpectedly. She handed me a small box. Found this in her drawer, she said. Thought you might want to see it. Inside was a set of Polaroids from her bachelorette weekend, clearly pre-planned. Even though the trip hadn't happened yet. One of them showed a risque lingerie outfit with "Last Night of Freedom" scribbled on the mirror behind her in lipstick. Another had a list titled Dare Card Ideas, including things like kiss a stranger, lap dance on the beach, and even get a fake name/number from a random guy. It was dumb, reckless, and confirmed everything I feared. Kate looked at me with real sympathy. She's not ready for someone like you. I know, I said quietly. That night, I stayed at Chris's apartment. I told him everything. We drank beer, played video games, and for the first time in days, I actually laughed. It felt weird, but freeing. 2 weeks later, I took what was supposed to be our honeymoon trip to Bali alone. I used it as a time to reset, to think, and to forgive, not just Madison, but myself too. Sometimes, people show you who they are in the most unexpected ways. And when they do, believe them. I didn't get the wedding. But I got my peace. And honestly, that's worth a hell of a lot more. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more content.